Hello and welcome back once again to 5 for Friday, brought to you by me, Ross Brierley, and this week it's out with the old and in with the Newbury. The big betting race this weekend then of course is the Betfair Hurdle, with only 14 runners declared this Saturday, and once again calls for the national hunt season to be completely overhauled are loud and clear. 2 mile hurdlers have had 21 possible opportunities since the turn of the year to run between Class 1 and Class 3 over this trip. Compare that to the 5-year average, which is 16.8, and clearly there aren't enough horses and there are too many racers. The last time 2 mile hurdlers had that many options was back in 1998, where, how many runners did they have in the Betfair Hurdle that season? 14. Coincidence? I hope not. Here's another coincidence for you. 1998's Betfair Hurdle was won by a horse called Sharpicle, a 6-year-old trained by Nicky Henderson on only his second handicap start of a mark in the low 130s. Does that remind you of anyone? Broomfield Bird backers will be very happy indeed if lightning strikes twice. The other thing to consider, of course, is the ground conditions over the past 6 weeks, with next to no abandonments, meaning 2 mile hurdlers have had pretty much the full gamut of options to run in. Which begs the question, what's easier to solve, the climate crisis or the National Hunt Programme book? One's a problem exacerbated by human greed and a refusal to accept a situation till it affects the finances of those on top, and the other one is the climate crisis. It's a big weekend for Paul Nicholls, with the Betfair ambassador hoping to halt a slump at the meeting sponsored by his sponsors. He's had 40 horses run over the past 2 weeks, with only 2 running to form and only 1 running above form, and that was Dolos, who's named after the Greek spirit of trickery and deception, so I'm not sure we should take that one at face value. The only figures worse than Paul Nicholls' horses running to form are Boris Johnson's opinion poll numbers. Nicholls has said there's no sign of sickness or coughing in the yard, but can he be sure? Those lateral flow tests can be pretty unreliable. Have any of his runners lost their sense of smell or taste? Maybe stick a cotton bud up each nostril and come back to me in a week or two. The trainer has come out and said that there's problems with the levels of calcium and potassium in his horse's diet, so why not take my nan's advice and have a big banana and a glass of milk for breakfast before school? Although, God rest her soul, she did smoke like a chimney, so maybe her health advice is taken with a pinch of salt. Skipping back a week, and there were some incredible performances at the Dublin Racing Festival, and a few that split opinion, none more so than Sir Gerhard, who was fantastic from the front in his Grade 1 novices hurdle, but some people think he might well be stepping up in trip. The fact that one of his stablemates is a huge rival in the shape of Dysart Dynamo has further muddied the waters, and trying to get a definite target out of Willie Mullins is like trying to get out of Lidl without accidentally buying a kayak or a chainsaw. But if you dig deeper into the numbers, you can see that, like many trainers, Mullins is a bit of a creature of habit. The Supreme is one of the trainers' favourite racers to win at the festival, taking the crown 5 times out of the past 10 years, and he's not averse to running more than 1. Last season, of course, Appreciator bolted up by half the track with Blue Lord, a potential second if he hadn't have come down at the final hurdle. And a couple of seasons ago, Classical Dream took the crown, with stablemate Aramon running a big race in mid-division at single-figure odds. Duvan beat stablemate Shane's Hill into second when Vortor won. Wicklow Brave was sent off at a shortish price as well. And Champagne Fever's year saw Unatur sent off at 6-1 and finish 4th. In contrast, in the past 10 years, Willie Mullins has not run a single horse in the Ballymore without testing them over further than 2 miles first. And given that Sir Gerhard and Dysart Dynamo are top-class 2 mile hurdlers unbeaten in this division, it seems a bit silly to suggest they might split up come March, especially as the stable have stamina in abundance with horses who have been tested over further, like Manella Kakuna, Kilcrut, State Man, El Fabiolo or Classic Getaway. My money's on both of them to turn up on the first day of the festival, and one of them to win. Which one? Who cares? I'll settle for a dead heat. There were plenty more stars on show, of course, at Leopardstown last weekend, but none more so than the one and only Mr. Jerry Hannon, who put the fear of God into everyone when seemingly leaving this mortal coil halfway through the handicap chase won by Birchdale. It was surely the longest 3 seconds of any racing fan's life, and luckily for you, I managed to catch my reaction live on camera.
Then Rebel Gold and Foxy Jacks on the inside is Birchdale. One fence left to jump, and the Bulmer's Secret Orchard Leopardstown.
Touch and go there for a minute, but luckily the big man bounced back without missing a beat and called Birchdale home to land a bit of a touch for the green and gold silks. That's not the first time, not the last time we'll be saying that over the next few weeks. On to the weekend then, and as well as Newbury, we've also got Warwick, of course, and an eye-catcher in the first race in the shape of Camdonian for Dan Skelton. As we said earlier, trainers are creatures of habit, and Dan Skelton has a good record in this opening novices hurdle, with runners every year for the past 4 seasons, 2 winners, a second, and admittedly a 40-1 shot who trailed in last. So it's worth making a note whenever he runs something in this contest, and Camdonian was already in the notebook after a big debut run over at Chepstow. On that occasion, he came from the clouds to finish a very eye-catching second to the front-running Brave Kingdom, who's now rated 130 and has won since in a similar event. The third's also hacked up back at the same track, and the fourth and the fifth have run with credit in decent contests. He's up against three keen-going rivals here, admittedly also at a track that suits those who like to lie up with the early speed, but hopefully he'll come on for that first experience and he can continue Skelton's top-class form over the past couple of weeks. That's it from me. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you next week.